Hello, JJ. How are you?
I'm so happy to be here. So excited.
I'm so happy to have you here.
It's my pleasure. Pleasure.
You know why?
Why?
Because you are a star.
Do you think so? I think you're the star, man. Oh my goodness.
And you are going to be an even bigger star.
So I appreciate it. We got more music coming out soon.
Okay, that's great.
Super excited.
You just released one on Friday, right?
Yeah, I just released Madrid.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Even though I don't speak Spanish yet, I'm still learning. I have good friends I'm learning. But that music was so good.
Thank you. It's one of my favorites, actually.
Okay. What was the inspiration behind that one?
So that one, the one that came out before, you remember Crypto?
Yeah.
That was recorded in the same day.
Okay.
And so we kind of were just thinking about the sample at the beginning. That was really what gave me the inspiration. And I was just really thinking about Spain. My best friend was going abroad to Spain.
Yeah.
And I was just really thinking about what the city and the culture was like.
Yeah.
And I kind of just, that city inspires so many feelings.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that came from.
Okay.
And the cover art, right? Have you seen the art to that one? That's also from my best friend. He took a photo there in Madrid, and then I was able to add like kind of clouds up top.
Amazing.
Thank you. And I'm pretty proud of that cover because it's the first one that I make with a photo. And now we're developing a theme of using photos.
That's great. I look forward to more music. I love how consistent you are.
Yeah. So
making music, every time.
Yeah. Thank you. So essentially what we want to do is we want to release every 3 weeks for the next year and a half.
Oh, wow.
So I have like 30 songs ready to go.
All written?
All written. No. All written and recorded.
What?
They're all right here in the phone. And so every 3 weeks, we're just going to whip them out consistently.
Yeah.
The next one is coming out. I'm really excited for this.
When is it coming out?
3 weeks from yesterday. So what, March 1st?
Okay.
But that's an exclusive preview.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So JJ, when I think about music, I think of it as poetry, but then it's different because first of all, you have to be able to write the music, and then you have to sing the music, then you have to perform the music in the video. You are doing all three like very well, and I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
How did you get started?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So the way I started was completely as a joke, pretty much. So it was December of my freshman year. Yeah. I was upstairs, 4th floor in Sawyer, and I was gonna go back home for winter break. And my brother and I decided to do just a joke to make a song. Yeah. And so kind of just wrote one together. It was really bad. And so then I kind of just sent it to my dad. My dad thought it was okay. And then he sent it to a friend of his who works in the music industry. He's a manager. And essentially he sent it to him and was like, this is not bad. Yeah. And so then we kind of just played it out a little bit. And then my birthday's in January. And my dad wanted to get me a gift. I was turning 20. Yeah. And he wanted to give me a gift and was like, you know what? Let's make the song. Let's officially record it. Okay. And so we get in contact through the manager to this famous producer. His name is Dino the Beatlionaire. Right? Shout out Dino. And so when I first read I was outside with my friends, right? And my dad texted me, hey, we're going to the studio with some guy named Dino. My heart dropped. I had listened to D-Note since 2015, 2016. And this was someone I looked up to. Yeah. And then when I was able to realize that, oh my God, I'm going to record with D-Note, I was like, wow.
An amazing feeling.
It was an amazing feeling. It was unbelievable. And this is when the story gets interesting. Yeah. So the next week, I'm super excited. I have like 3 songs written. I get into the D-Note, and I show him the song, right? And I give him the phone and I'm like, here, this is what we're dealing with. He listens to it, 30 seconds, and he's like, no, man, this is horrible. And gives me my phone back. Like, imagine that. This was my hero. Yeah. And he's like, no, man, your stuff is bad. So he was like, he literally kicked us out. He was like, sorry, there's nothing we can do.
Your dad was there?
Yeah, my dad was there too. And it was like, wow, this is not good. And so then as we're leaving the studio, he turns around and he's like, hey, I really like you guys. Let's give it a chance. And that was so nice. And then essentially what we ended up doing is we made this song. We kept nothing. Essentially we worked on it together. What I brought was useless. And so we kind of just ended up working together and made a different song. That song came out around November of 2 years ago. And then I just didn't like it because I wanted to do like a whole revamp and I took it off Spotify. So that's a hidden gem. But I'll show you that one. Okay. And so then I kind of just really continued working, writing. And when I came back from winter break my freshman year, that period of winter study, I ended up writing 32 songs. And by the time the semester was over, I had like 80. Wow. Most of them were horrible. If there were 80, 75 were bad. So I mean, it was like that, but consistently, like I haven't stopped. Just writing and writing every single day. I love to write. Yeah. I've always been a person who likes to write essays and poetry, and then I kind of just adapted it to music. And that's kind of just what I've been doing ever since.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Bro, that's like an impressive journey.
Thank you.
So it's been like 3 years or
Yeah, it's been around 3 years. It's been about 3 years.
Yeah.
And then little by little, I've gone and recorded a batch of 3 with Dino. That was Elizabeth, right? That was La Ciudad, which is the other one that I had. And then Zona de Combate. Those are the 3 that I recorded then. And then I went with a different producer, shout out Andiel. He is amazing. He is just an incredible talent. Just a wonderful person and a great producer.
Okay.
And then I recorded 2 more then. That was Crypto and Madrid. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
And so that was the first batch. And now we're getting to the good stuff, right? So if you thought this was good, which I appreciate, we're getting better.
Wow.
Right. So I like to call Madrid kind of like the end of the first state.
Yeah.
Now we're entering my second state.
Okay.
And we're going to be playing a lot more with experimental kind of music. Like this next one is like a trap with like some Jersey club. Right?
Okay.
And that's my next one.
Yeah.
Get ready for that one.
What's your motivation? What motivates you to write every time, like make a song, produce, release it?
This is such a good question. And I would say that that motivation is the final product. I'm sure you can relate to it kind of when you're doing this whole process and the editing and how tedious it is.
Yeah.
But when you're done, you're like, wow, that feels good.
Yeah.
And I would say it's that whole process, right? Like when you're kind of just writing and you're finding the beat, or when you're making the beat and you're like, oh my God. Or then when you write and you're like, this word doesn't go there. You have to have another syllable, take a syllable out. Or you're like, okay, I could change a word. That's really what gets you. And it takes hours.
Yeah.
And it takes hours for just a song to be 2 minutes long. You know what I mean? I'm sure you understand. Yeah. And it's like, where really that big motivation is that end product. It's that end product, and it's so satisfying. And then sharing your art, it's your art, and then you share it with other people, and just to have that feedback makes it all worth it.
Okay, that's great. That's a big motivation. Yeah. What would you say is the message of your music? What's the message?
Yeah. So actually, this is a good question. So I kind of live in the space, right, where it's called reggaeton. That's the genre, right? And I feel like in the genre, there's a lot of like explicit music, right? There's a lot of like themes that are touched that aren't necessarily the most positive. And something that I really care about is I don't use any bad language in my songs. Like I make that very clear. If I talk about some sort of sensitive topics, it's like double-edged, you know what I mean? Like I'm never saying anything explicit.
I see.
And so I always try, I think just limiting bad language is something that I think is just important to me personally. It kind of reflects me as a person and kind of just my image that I want to reflect. And also something I like to use is I kind of like to have that duality of me as a student, right? As a high achieving student, and also an artist, kind of just, I like to expand my vocabulary. Like for example, in my songs, I make sure I never repeat the same word twice.
Okay.
So I'll always look for something different. Yeah. And my goal is to make you, if you're listening to my song and you speak Spanish fluently, my goal is to have you at least open the dictionary once and be like, oh, I wonder what word this is.
Wow.
And I feel like it kind of just like reflects, you know, kind of like my academic background, mixing it with the artistic. And it's been really multidisciplinary in the sense that you gotta write, you gotta sing, listen to music. Now I'm really getting into making my own cover arts, and it's kind of just so interdisciplinary that I just learn a lot. I'm making my own videos, learning how to edit like we were just talking about. And I don't know, I just feel like I learn and develop so many different skills for it.
That's great. That's all. Yeah. How would you say Williams has influenced your music?
Yeah, that's a great question. I personally love Williams, me personally. And I would just say, kind of just building on that, just the liberal arts.
Yeah.
We as students, we can like handle anything. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of just what the whole curriculum is about. And kind of just this interdisciplinary nature. I feel like someone who was more musically inclined could just make it, but would struggle to write, for example, or they would struggle to sing. Whereas I'm writing, I'm singing, I'm making videos, I'm thinking about new ideas. Just kind of like going out into the nature and seeing like, oh, this inspires me. Also, the fact that we have art collections, just incredible art collections here, world-renowned art museums. Yeah. I feel like, especially when I'm looking for some inspiration, I'll just take the 5-minute walk to the Clark and look around, look at some paintings, get some historical ideas, and kind of think about that. And now something, actually look, it's a brainstorming process, is something I want to do implementing from now on is for the cover arts. I want to implement kind of like work from the Clark or like work from the Met, and kind of just think about how some paintings, I've taken like 3 art history classes here. that's really influenced me in kind of just thinking about artistically.
Okay.
And maybe just having a deeper message to what's going on.
Okay.
So I would say just the liberal arts curriculum broadly,
Yeah.
but also just our amazing art facilities.
Okay.